Hello guys, welcome back. Now that we have covered most of the options in Creo Parametric for the 2D sketching, let us begin the sample exercises for our practice. So right now I have the first exercise with me on the right hand side of the screen. Along with it, I have opened the Creo software on the left hand side. So I will be continuing the exercises in the same way by dividing the screen into two parts. So you can see on the right hand side, this is a very simple sketch. We will try to create it using the 2D options what we have learned, using the 2D drawing options, and after which we will try to understand what kind of approach is suitable for the sketches what we are having. So it is the best thing to study the figure before starting the geometry. As we can see on the right hand side, we have a figure whose base is something around 70 units and the height of the figure is something around 60 plus a diameter of radius 35. And you have a circle which is presenting a hole, and you have a slot which is the shape of rectangle having the dimensions 50 by 15. And this rectangle is located at a distance of 15 units from the base, whereas this circle is located at a distance of 60 units from the base. And mind you, the circle, in the sense I'm talking about the center of the circle. Clear? So let us try to draw it. You can try to see the way how I am actually beginning the figure, and I will try to tell you two approaches for this problem. So let us begin with the first approach. The first approach is very simple. Let us take a center line, draw on the screen, keep it vertical, take another line, keep the line horizontal. So we have two center lines which will be acting as a reference for us or a datum. Now take the line option and we can try to create the base of the geometry, and we have to see that the base is symmetric. As I am stopping the mouse over here, you can see that the line is symmetric on both the sides of the vertical line or the vertical center line. Now press the middle click. You have the line ready. Now you can double click on the dimension and change the dimension to 70 units. Click on zoom to fit or refit. You have the line ready, that is the base of the geometry. Now let us try to draw the vertical section of the geometry. Take the line option again, click on the far end and drop a random line of random length. Now adjust the dimensions to be 60 units as seen on the figure. I want this line to be on the other side, so let me try to use the mirror option for this, or else I can directly take a line and draw it and keep it till over here. But I will be using the mirror option because I want you to understand the different editing options in Creo. So for that, first I have to select the line. I need to go to the mirror option, select the mirror option. The Creo give me a command to select the center line. So select the center line. There it is. We have the line mirrored on the right hand side. So try to use the mirror command and try to work for your geometry. And one more thing I would like to make something clear over here. I could have started the sketching of the geometry from the top, right? But I have started from the base. So it is totally the user's mentality or idea or thought. Okay. So there could be some people who will be interested to start the figure directly from the top by creating a circle of certain radius, right? So it is totally the user's wish, but we have to understand the figure what we are dealing with, and we have to try to create part by part or feature by feature of the sketch. Clear? So I have started from the base. I have created two vertical lines and now I will be joining them using the arc of radius 35. So the center of the arc should be in line with the top ends of the vertical line. Okay, so you can see over here I'm getting a construction reference line. So this is the center of my arc. I need to select this end, join it with the other end, and I got the total outer section of the geometry. And mind you, we have to check the radius. It has to be something around 35, and it is 35. Now I'm getting a message to resolve my sketch. When I was discussing about the constraint, I said you that the sketches in Creo are automatically constrained. As we have already entered the diameter or the total width of the figure to be around 70, and we have chosen the center of the arc to be the exact midpoint of this 70 unit baseline, then automatically it is assumed that this particular arc is 35 radius. That is the reason we were not getting 35 in the starting, because if I'm removing this, you can see there is no dimension for this arc. That means the 70 units what is mentioned over here is continuing longitudinally, right? And if I really want to mention this particular dimension on the screen, then I need to delete any other dimension. For example, I need to delete the symmetry maybe, then I can mention it. So it is not required for me to delete any other automatic constraints. So let us go with the option of 70 units itself instead of having 35 on the top, right? Because we are just making a figure which is more cleaner in appearance. Now that the external thing is ready, I need to create a hole in the middle and I need to create a slot. So let me try to create the hole which is at a distance of 60 units, and this is the point that represents the 60 units from the base. So draw a circle and change the radius. You can see automatically I'm getting a diameter over here. So as I said you earlier, in order to change the diameter to radius, we have to just click on the diameter and click on the radius option. Now the radius is present and we can modify the radius to be 20 units. Now the final thing that is left over here is to create the slot. And slot is exactly in the center of the particular width and it is symmetric on both the sides. And I can directly choose the option center rectangle and I can create the rectangle on this vertical center line. The rectangle is originating from the center. Stop it at any random position and zoom in to adjust the dimensions. So the width of the rectangle or the slot is 50 units and the height of the slot is something around 15 units. And the location of the base of the rectangle from the base of the geometry is 15 units. So you can adjust this. There it is. Your figure is ready right now. We have all the dimensions. So this is the first approach what I have worked so far. I have created the base, then I have created the longitudinal sections, two segments, line segments, then I have joined them with the arc of radius 35 and after that I have created the holes. So in this process I have actually created the total section, I have created the total material and I have made hole over here and a slot. So this hole is a material removal process and obviously this slot is also material removal process. Clear? Some of the students, they actually try to create a circle first, then they create the rectangle. Okay, I'm following the equal constraint. Then they try to create the outer section. Okay, I'm just randomly creating it, don't worry. So the problem in this type of approach, the problem is, I'll just try to do it. So some of the students will try to do it in this way. Okay, it is acceptable. I mean, we can assume that, there is the geometry. I didn't follow the dimensions right now, but I'm just trying to explain you what is the mistakes. Okay, so assume somebody have created a rectangle first or a circle, then they have created the outer wall, right? So end of the day, they are also getting the figure ready with them, but the approach is not right, because if we are thinking with respect to the manufacturing, we are not creating holes first, or we are not creating slots first. We have a material with us. For that material, we are basically we are eliminating the material and creating a hole or a slot. So it's better if we try to approach a sketch or a geometry with respect to the manufacturing point of view. So that is the reason in earlier case, I have created the outer section first, and as soon as I've created the outer section, let me delete the circle and the rectangle. You can see I got the material over here. The shaded region is representing the material. Okay. Yeah, this is because I have used a center rectangle, so all these things are coming. So as soon as I've created the outer section, I've got the shaded region which is representing the material. After this, I have created a hole of some radius, and after that I've created a slot. So slot and a hole are basically material removal process. So the first approach is pretty good and it makes sense actually. And the second approach, maybe you're getting the figure ready, but according to me, that is not the right approach. And one more thing, what I missed in the first approach is, we will never be having, most of the raw material is not rounded at the tops. It is sharp actually, So in order to approach in that way, we have to create the total box first. That is 70 by 60 plus 35. I'll show you over here. We can create this way, we can create the total box first. That is 70 units. And this is 60 plus, this is the 60. And we have a radius of 35. So we can add directly over here. This is another feature of Creo. And then, we can try to create a circle. I have to create a center line first, which can be acting as a reference from the midpoint. Then, I can create the circle. I'm just following the equal dimensions from there. So I'm getting an equal constraint over here. Equal 1 and equal 1. Both are equal radius or diameter. Then, you can just try to, before this, you can also try to delete the outer section. Let me follow. Let me click on center and ends arc. So this is the position I'm following from the left hand side sketch. This is the center and this height is around 60 units. So I'm starting from the top, keeping a tangency symbol over here. It's better to have a tangency symbol. So this way we are removing the outer material at least. We are assuming that the outer material is removed. This is again tangent. Delete the segment using the delete segment command. Click on the outer segments. Press middle click. There it is. So what we have done is we have created the outer section first. We were assuming that we had the raw material in the form of rectangle shape, and then we have rounded it. So we have applied some manufacturing process and we have removed the sharp edges. Okay, and we have created a blunt shape on the top. And the final thing that is left over is to just create holes. This is the first hole and another is a slot. So let me create a corner rectangle right now and try to keep it symmetric. This is symmetric. So I got to material removal processes over here, and which is creating a hole and a slot. And the first material removal process was converting the sharp edge to a blunt or a rounded feature, right? So these are the two approaches which you have to proceed. So sometimes the geometries or the sketches are very complicated, like it is a combination of multiple components. Like for example, in the future exercises we will be dealing with a tap, okay, the cross section of the tap. So in that kind of sketches, it doesn't matter, we can start from anywhere. But for most of these kind of sketches which are representing a component, mechanical components, in that particular cases it is better to proceed with good approach. Manufacturing point of view is better. It actually helps us to make ourselves more clear and more perfect with sketching. Okay, so let us go to the next video. Thank you.